Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Mini RPG of the Week. It is edition 22 of Season 4. We get ever closer to what may be the end of Mini RPG of the Week when Zedorite leaves us at the end of Season 4 and nobody has stepped up to take the mantle yet. But you know what? 4 seasons in a movie, Dylan, and if you replace movie with a LAN, it's been a good run.
Yeah, we're gonna, I don't know if you knew this, Alex, we're gonna have 102 editions of Mini RPG of the Week by Season 4. That's a little bit of quick maths I just did off the top of my head there.
Just so we're clear here, Dylan, that's 25 maps per season. Do you know where the other 2 actually came from?
I do. Our very first episode was like a pilot episode, so this was before I even joined. I did my research to know this.
This was before I joined, just so we're clear as well.
It was 0. It doesn't count. We're counting it, but it doesn't count like that. And then last weekend, we had a little Mini RPG of the Week stream. I guess just Mini RPG stream. It wasn't of the week. It
did still carry the of the week name. It just happened on a Saturday.
In name only.
Yeah. Which was fun. BMX streamed that one here on this very channel, which was a good time. And yeah, so we're excited anyway. Obviously, with 102 editions having taken place, there is still some battles going on at the top of the leaderboard in terms of who will have the top 3 spots when it comes to, you know, the free LAN spots being given away, the merch that goes with it for free as well, with those top drivers too. Now, I am going to mention here that as far as I know, Yannick will not be able to attend the ultimate, the LAN, which means that is one of those players currently sitting in the top 3. Yannick with 11 wins sits in second. Hazard has 13 wins, Yannick has 11, Scandier has 10, Ice has 9, Marius has 7, and then there's 3 people with 4 wins who at this point are, well, a little bit far away. It does mean that as things stand anyway, I'm pretty sure that Ice does stand to probably get that place instead. I'm not exactly sure how things are going to work out. Listen, I'm not Zedorite. I'm not making the plans directly in how these things are going to end up shaking out. But it is maybe worth noting, you know, that, well, no, I'm not going to make a coup, a power play this late in the day. You said
yourself, you know, we don't know who's replacing Zedorite yet.
It's maybe not me. I can tell you that just up front. No, I'm absolutely not. It will not be me. Let's just make that very, very clear up front. Hey, listen, if anyone replaces Zedorite, I know he said that, you know, if anyone wanted to take on the mantle and continue to run Mini RPG of the Week, he would be more than open to walking someone through the process and how things have gone for the last 2 years. But yeah, I mean, look, that's all for another time. For tonight, Dylan, we're going to focus on this edition, the edition we have in front of us, a map by Bayron. It is week 22, and I'm looking forward to seeing what we have in store for ourselves tonight.
Yeah, it looks interesting. Bayron is taking us to the icy slopes this evening. Kind of, he says it's sort of a trick-focused map, so it should be interesting to see what happens there. And it's also, I think, it's Bayron's second ever Mini RPG map as well, so kind of a new entrant into the Mini RPG ground. We're going to have a look at the map now. Not seeing any ice yet, but, you know, could still happen.
Yeah, the map is called Icy Slopes. There's some icy trees off in the distance there. But, yeah, I mean, look, I don't think ice is a surface we see a huge amount of in Mini RPG in general anyway. But we'll have to see how things go on. That's a bug slide for sure. Bug slide into backwards. That is a section that in his notes, Bayron notes, is likely to be pretty difficult. So we'll have to see how players get to grips with that one as well. Just keeping an eye out here. Transitional in general, as we kind of expect from this style of map as well. That means lots of room for optimizations. If Scandier is playing tonight, I'm going to say it already based off what we've seen. This feels like a very Scandier heavy, a very good map for Scandier. Now, there's some ice, most definitely. A little bit of a delayed 360.
Bit of ice, yeah. I like that you just hit us with the, like, oh, you know, if Scandier plays tonight. This looks like a Scandier type map. What sort of map do you look at, Alex, and you're like, oh yeah, Scandier's going to struggle with this one?
It's less of a struggle and more just in terms of the level to which he dominates. Which, hang on, is that actually virtual?
Yeah, it looks like it.
No, it may not be. He's not live. We don't know. I don't know if virtual uses the RPG Club tag. Listen, someone can let me know. I don't know.
It's
a possibility. It could be. You never know. Look, the maps that Scandier tends to dominate on do tend to be, I think, like this style, where the difficulty comes from absolutely optimizing like transitions and things like that, where there's a couple of tricks, or there's less kind of, for lack of a better word, RNG tricks. It's much more deterministic. Now, with that said, we'll have to wait and see. There is a trick towards the end that I'm kind of interested to see how it goes. It's this one that Scandir is coming up to, because I'd made that point right as we were coming around this turn, and right before I'd seen this happen, which is pretty wild. But I mean, hey, first attempt already seems pretty consistent. I even like kind of the cutout in the wall there, because there's care, there's attention that's gone in here a little bit. You can see that the way both the kind of GPS and Scandir landed ended up kind of fading out a little bit to the right after that loop-the-loop, and yeah, there's space there to allow that readjustment.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think just from that kind of one, Scandir's maybe like first attempt at the map, it definitely looks like Scandir's going to have a good night tonight, as he probably does most nights that we do mini RPG of the week. We saw Hazard as well there. Hazard, another one of our kind of classic players at this stage. Riding with Sponge-like now. Sponge-like ZZ. I don't know how much of that name you're supposed to say and how much you're supposed to just read, but, you know, we can offer different amounts. We're going to see how maybe like a less Scandir type player takes this ending bit now. Doesn't seem to struggle too much with it. But yeah, it's interesting to see. We get another look here kind of as Nikolig goes for it. There is room for error. You know, you can kind of, if you don't have the exact right amount of speed, you're not getting to that top section, that's going to hurt you a little bit as you come into the end of this map. And especially might make it difficult to actually get the sort of risky fin towards the end as well. Or actually, looks like it makes it impossible.
Yeah. Looks like it probably does. I am going to add two pieces of evidence that I do think that is actually Virtual has jumped into the server for this evening. First of all, obviously he's set a pretty good time pretty quickly, and whatever else, Virtual is a pretty good player. Also, yeah, updated his club tag on trackmania.io to RPG 8 minutes ago. So that is the correct club tag for him as well. So
that's Virtual.
I'm pretty sure that is actually Virtual. So that's interesting. We'll see how he gets on tonight. I mean, look, Scandir is always going to be tough competition, and there are players like Hazard, who we see in the server, Ice is here as well, who have done a lot of mini RPG over the last couple of years and will be very well prepared to kind of, you know, make it difficult to beat them tonight. We'll show off a lot of what they've learned. But with that said, I mean, Virtual making a decent run towards the end here is going for that safer fin, which is, yeah, it's a large time loss, it looks like.
It's big, right? Like, I was actually surprised kind of when we first watched it from, I think it was Nikolig's perspective. Like, you are losing a lot of time. It looks like there's kind of like nearly like between 3 and 5 seconds being lost if you fuck up this bit here.
And the question is, how hard is the risky fin? Because, you know, first blush, that risky fin didn't look incredibly hard to me, but, you know, I mean, listen, sometimes things are deceptively hard. They look a little bit easier than maybe they actually are. But I'm trying to think, is there anything in that risky fin other than hitting the gap at speed? Obviously, it is quite a narrow gap compared to the safe way that you do have to hit in order to enter. And you can't really afford to go slowly into it. You do need to be hitting with speed to actually get the benefit of the risky fin, which is being able to make the higher platform. We'll see with RTs here as well, turning this final corner. Like, look, it's a smaller gap, but I don't think it's one that you shouldn't be able to hit consistently with a little bit of practice, and it is still possible to fail on the safe way as well. You do still need to get this angle right.
I almost wonder, I'm kind of like, are some of the players trying to game it now? Like, Artis is resetting this a lot. I'm almost thinking, is Artis trying to see if he can still get the high path going through the safe route?
Maybe.
He seemed to be struggling with it there. He took a couple of runs at it. He's gone for the riskier route now. Seems to be able to get that pretty safely. Although, you know, still a bit of struggling. You kind of got to play a bit weird on the half pipe if you want to nail it exactly.
This is what's that? I mean, there's also, just so we're clear there as well, a medium difficulty finish. If you can't get up to that top left finish, you can go all the way over to the right, just jump to that back section. There's another finish there, which would lose a bit of time, but obviously not as much as the safest finish, which is also interesting. Multiple finishes, at least 3 finishes, all with different levels of time loss and time gain, with, you know, multiple points where you have to make a decision about how risky you're going to play it, is interesting. There's a Mario Kart map I'm thinking of, Dylan.
Oh god.
Is it the DK Slopes one? The one that was on the Wii. You know, the snowboard map. You know the one.
I know the Donkey Kong slopes map. I don't think that one had that much choice in it, though, did it?
No. That's not why I'm thinking of it. You know how the optimal way to drive that map at like the last downhill section is to just like drive along one side and just go for little jumps on the half pipe? Because you drive down the half pipe.
I'm not as cracked at Mario Kart Wii as you. I did not know this.
Well, it's because they have like the boosters on the side, and so the optimal thing to do is to drive as flat as possible, so you're barely jumping off of the edge of the half pipe and landing on the same side, and then immediately steering back up to get another very flat jump off the half pipe. Anyway, that's what that final section reminds me of.
There's a trick in Mario Kart DS which is kind of like that. It's kind of like what you need at the end of this map. It's called like snaking, where basically you just like really quickly drift from one side to the other, and you can build up like really rapid speed. You sort of need to do that at the end of this map, like not exactly, but like the way you kind of have to like mount the half pipe, then come down it, and then before it ends, go back up it if you want to get to the final part of the risky fin. I don't know. The movement for that kind of looks like the movement for snaking in Mario Kart DS.
Yeah,
we might get to see it here as Sapphire approaches.
Yeah, because you want to try and stay as flat as possible on this first half-pipe jump, because if you don't, you have to do what Sapphire does here and bail out, go for this second finish rather than being able to hit the top, the quickest finish as well, which is interesting to see how that goes. Quick check-in on the times as well. Currently a 1:07.5, the best time on the server by Scandir. Marius sitting in second, and I haven't really talked about Marius all that much. It's been a while since he's managed to pick up a win in an edition of Mini RPG of the Week. I don't believe there's any win in Season 4, and if you go back to Season 3, it was Edition 20 in Season 3 was the last time that Marius managed to pick up one of those wins. He's still not that far away. If we're assuming that as things stand, Ice is likely to get a spot because Yannick's won't be able to go, Marius is 2 wins behind Ice. A win tonight could make the last couple of weeks very interesting for Marius.
Right? Like, it's super closable, especially because, I don't know, I'm not trying to shade Ice here or anything. Do you know when was Ice's last win?
A great question. Ice's last
win
was...
It's been a while as well.
3 weeks ago.
Before that, I feel like I kind of just... There was a couple of weeks where you didn't hear about Ice. I don't know.
It's true. I would say Ice has had some inconsistent performances in Season 4. Now, he has won twice in Season 4. 9 wins overall, of which 2 are in Season 4. Part of the problem with Season 4 has been that Scandir has, again, just sucked all the air out of the room. Has currently 8 wins in Season 4 with 21 editions run, which is just crazy. And then Hazard and Morpio have 3 wins each. Ice has 2 wins. So, like, Ice has performed well in Season 4, but I would say compared to maybe the 3 names above him, maybe Morpio excluded, but Scandir and Hazard in particular, you kind of expect to see them, if not top 2, kind of top 5, at the very least top 10 every week. And Ice, I don't think has been quite the same level of consistently performing.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true. I think, maybe I just have been casting a couple of streams where Ice maybe exited kind of before top 10 or something like that, and that made me think the bloom had come off the rose, but actually Ice had just had a bad map that night.
Yep, definitely possible. But again, like, would be interesting to see if Ice picks up a win here as well. I mean, still, just that race between Ice and Scandir, with Scandir having come so meteorically from behind with Season 4 and actually playing consistently, would be interesting. Is there an engine off somewhere along here, or is Tomote just not going for it because he wants to reset and try again?
I think it's the latter.
Still has the engine on. Yeah.
He's just, he needs to be carrying more speed into this by the looks of things. Or like, I think he's speeding up too much before he's kind of committed to the turn back onto the half pipe, and that's stopping him from turning properly.
Yeah, no, he's definitely still got the engine turned on. He's looking for this flat angle, I think, to try and figure out the jump to the end. But hey, there's also always the option there. Virtual, I think, is the first player just about. I'm not sure when Worker got his time, but Virtual does now have a time underneath the author time. No, sorry, Worker is a full second behind. I was only looking at the tenths. I was not looking at the seconds, and that's important. Virtual first player to get the AT. Bayron has said that the AT is not particularly hunted on this track. I know last week, for example, I don't think we saw anyone get the AT over the course of the night. Or maybe that was a couple of weeks ago. They all start to blur together at some point. But tonight definitely should be seeing plenty of players, I think, break underneath that AT. In fact, Virtual's gone nearly a full second quicker again. Scandir nearly a second behind that as well. It's going to be interesting. I mean, Worker being here tonight as well, a very good player in his own right. We only have 60 players in the server at the moment. Now, that could be some of the regulars jumped in, saw the name was Icy Slopes, and were like, nope, don't need to do anything with ice, thanks very much. But the quality of players at the top here is definitely looking very, very strong.
No, I mean, definitely. I mean, even as you were talking about, Virtual has already further shaved that time down to a 103.7. Yeah, Scandir, Worker, Hazard, Marius, you know, Ice is there too. It's interesting. We've got Snow and Ice in the top 10 times so far on the map Icy Slopes. So if you wanted to throw around accusations of a fix, that's where you'd start.
I mean, our Tice? That's maybe a little bit of a stretch.
You said it.
Yeah, I did say it. I regretted it almost immediately, but I did in fact say it.
What about Snow virtual? The game takes place in a virtual world? Okay. Okay. I see what's going on there, buddy.
It's been a rig from the beginning. Snow is a very good player in his own right as well. Obviously played a lot of Trackmania Challenger League last year as well. So assuming that it is the same Snow, I think it is, given that he has BS in the name there. But listen, my digging only goes so far, and there's only so much I'm willing to do. We'll see how things go on from there. Scandir, meanwhile, does retake the top time on the leaderboard, 102.706. The prediction from Bayron was that a very good time during rounds would be a 101, 102, with just a minute and a half remaining in the warm-up here. That is the time players are starting to hit.
Yeah, so yeah, the fact that we're already seeing that in the warm-ups, it means I think we're probably going to see some really competitive matches later on in this evening. And yeah, it's also, I don't know, not that it's a super short map, but like, you know, in a format where I feel like we, you know, might normally see like a 105 or a 106 as the average map time, a 102, that could really shave some time off as well, in terms of just like the map requiring less concentrated. That's not the right way of saying it. You have to keep your skills up for like an extra like 3 seconds less than you might normally have to.
Sure.
Which actually can mean a lot in terms of competition, I guess.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, there's also I think a more relevant question a lot of the time in that case is how difficult is the map and how many rounds are we going to be kind of waiting for the full timeout before players get to the finish line, right? Because, you know, I mean, for the players who finish first round on round, then they're usually going to be waiting for the timeout, at least for round 1, 2, 3, because then that's another 50 seconds you are waiting for players to finish, right? But if that is a very difficult map and things keep going like that for another 5 rounds, you know, the first 7 or 8 rounds have people making it all the way to the timeout, or even when you're nearly sometimes to the top 20 and we're still waiting for the full timeout to finish for everyone to get there. That's sometimes nearly the same length as the round again, where the top players are sitting there waiting for players to finish. And there's a question there. Is it a positive that, you know, there's less mental exhaustion over the course of the evening? Or does it become a case of you're actually kind of heating up, cooling down, and that's more tiring for players? Probably down to player preference when you get into it. But I guess we'll just have to see. I mean, look, Bayron reckons it's a fairly tough map, that it is going to create some pretty big gaps between players. I'll agree. I think some of the tricks that we've seen on the track look pretty difficult. I'll also say I don't think it's the highest density of tricks that we've ever seen on a mini RPG of the week, though. So there's definitely going to be room for those gaps to appear. Big gaps are going to appear, but in terms of tight rounds, I think we should be in for some.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a fair analysis as we head into our first proper round here. As usual, first round, we're not going to see any eliminations, but we will see the establishment of this evening's very first danger zone. So it'll be interesting to see who ends up there. We're looking at people who right now are definitely not at risk of ending up in the danger zone. Scandir and Beta Toast are kind of leading, but Lucez and Worker are very close behind them, all setting a pretty nice time on their first kind of official go at this map. Lucez going in here for the risky Fin, Beta Toast as well. Both seem to pretty easily handle getting it, or at least that kind of first jump to the higher section. We'll see now which go for the unfortunate little clip there for Scandir. Looks like is going to take him to the medium thing. So the medium Fin, that's something to watch out for.
Yeah, you gotta watch out for the medium thing. Yeah.
It'll get you.
I'm interested in the final quote-unquote forced ice 360. We saw a couple of players doing it as intended by God or the mapper, take your pick, and doing the 360. Scander and Beta Toast in particular, I noticed doing that. But Luce's, we did see during the warm-up going for a line that didn't require the 360, just going straight across the edge, landing into an ice slide around the end. And it did look in that round like maybe that was faster for Luce's. Crashed at the end, and so and lost time to Beta Toast in this finish section anyway. But that's something that's interesting to keep an eye on, because Ice 360s kind of notoriously difficult to force. Nadeo tried during the last Trackmania World Tour map pack as well. The name of that map was G-Force. They tried to force an Ice 360. Didn't work. Players figured out a way around it within like an hour and a half of the map pack being released. But yeah, I'm going to see. Yeah. Does Luce's continue to not go for it? Do other players adopt that method as time goes on, or do people just stick with what they're comfortable on?
Yeah, it should be interesting to see, yeah. One thing I want to call attention to there, just as you were speaking, we saw Yezop just get in before the closing time for this map. That was skin of the teeth, and just carried Yezop safe from this round's elimination zone as well. So a nice bit of play there from them for at least the first round of this evening. Yeah, it's interesting to see how that 360 ice is going to develop. Luces definitely did pick up a lot of speed there, which allowed him to pull ahead of the other players for just a little bit. There was that little clip, but it's interesting to see how that might affect the rest of the map as it plays out. Riding with Uso right now. Uso, you know, kind of not exactly in a position you would love to be in. Kind of towards the back of the pack, but he's not in the elimination zone for this round, so he's not in total danger. Someone who is probably in a little bit of danger is Softy D at the top of that danger zone, so it's not too bad, but still, you know, being in the danger zone in and itself is something to be avoided if at all possible.
Yeah, a little bit of stress associated with it for sure. We were talking about that mental strain potentially, and you know, whether or not waiting at the end of a round, you know, because the top players in this round have already been waiting for a little while now. But definitely being in the danger zone, I think something that would add to that as time goes on. The more rounds that you're in, we saw last week, Yannick did attempt, kind of deliberately. I'm not even going to say, you know, it was, oh, maybe he was definitely deliberately trying to get into as many danger zones as he could, which was a risky strategy and ultimately did not work out for him, and also didn't actually manage to break the record for most danger zones anyone had ever been in a week. So, you know, hey.
Well, that's just disappointing.
It was. I think he made it to 7 and the record is 8, which just kind of funny.
This is why he's been banned from the LAN, of course.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Also, yeah, we started with only 60 players this week, which does mean that our first danger zone only had 8 players in it. Still more than 8 players eliminated. Those DNFs when you are already in the danger zone do lead to you being eliminated immediately. And also think some DNFs there as well.
DNFs, and they are to be avoided.
Yeah, you don't want a DNF, but we are still in our 8-person danger zones. Some decent players eliminated, some players reappearing the danger zone. Edixop, for example, straight back into it, looking to fight their way out of a second danger zone in only the second round of the evening. Well, third round, technically, okay.
Really not where you want to be. Just in terms of mental strain, if you kind of establish yourself as like a danger zone guy, that's probably not good if you are worried about your skill level. Or even if you're not that worried about your skill level, kind of like you were saying with Yannick's. So definitely not a space you kind of really want to be in. Nikolig, another one of these players who is in the danger zone, not doing a good job of kind of for sure getting himself out of it. Although has seemed to pull ahead a little bit. Edicots unfortunately doesn't seem to be doing the same. Looks like there was probably a reset here that has pushed him back a little bit. And it is going to be very tough for him to recover. He's got nearly a 10-second gap between Bands, who is the player he has to take over if he wants to survive to the next round. Bands going through that kind of 360 ice thing, as Edicots just kind of plows right into that flag, and that, I think, should kind of cinch his position, unfortunately, as going out in round 2 this evening.
You'd imagine so. We'll see. Band's low speed here is going to have to go for the medium finish rather than the very top finish. Is struggling just to make that jump. Double respawn, and you can see the double respawn leaves you turned around so you can get back and take that booster. So a big time loss if you do fail at this finish here. Is Band still in? Has anyone managed to catch back up? The answer is no. And ultimately, not going to be all that close either. Edixot a long way down the track. It will be Edixot, Supernova, and Flafe. Someone else also eliminated, but I don't know who it was because they left the round early.
It happens sometimes. You know, sometimes it's better to go with grace.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe not. We're seeing these players go out anyway. Edixot amongst them. Edicots, as I have been saying.
Well,
I don't
listen,
think I've ever said that guy's name right in a lot of
some of these
in
names
FPG
just look, some of these names are not combinations of letters that you see in English or in like French or German a lot of the time either. They're just kind of random, and so it's not necessarily on. I've said it before. We just need players to start writing their names fully in international phonetic alphabet.
Also, the players need to contribute to a fund which will teach me. It will pay me to learn the phonetic alphabet.
Yes,
and then I will
that's a
say
very
their
important
names
part.
correctly.
Yeah.
HyperX Rage is another one of our players in the danger zone, and he is in the danger zone of the danger zone, battling it out with Ora. Yeah, sure. Right now, 2C will get out. Unfortunately, loses control of the vehicle. Still the top player in that danger zone after 2 resets here. Which I think at this stage is more speaking to the quality of the other players in the danger zone than maybe Hyper Rage's own skill. Not sure what's going on. Seems to just be having fun with it, to be honest.
Just kind of struggling. There is a reverse booster there. That's what's forcing the players to go backwards through this jump then. And Hyper Rage is struggling with getting the rotation in the air to actually turn that car around, get through that booster. And yep, that's tough.
Has gone for the DNF.
Has gone for the DNF. So it's up to Drylux, Softy D to chase down Gonta, and a player that I'm just going to call Aura because that seems like the safest option. Softy D going for the safe Finn. Now the question is, how safe does it feel? And are they close enough to catch up with someone? We see Artis falling out of the sky just in front there. Big speed loss, which is tough because there is a slowdown then in this section as well. Gonta just looking to get across the line. Will do so. Last player locked in safe. With 3 players still out on track. Softy D, Jam, and Drylux will all be eliminated in this round.
Sad to see them go. Interesting with Hyper Rage there to see just like that DNF just struggling with that reverse section. In round 3, you know, that's at least 4 times before that Hyper Rage had completed the map. So I think that what we might have seen there is kind of the mental strain we were talking about of just being in the danger zone, where once you're kind of put in that position, it makes things sort of a lot more heightened, and it means that it can be harder to deal with a section of the map that you mightn't have had that much trouble with before.
Yep, no, absolutely the case. And this is going to be a pretty tough danger zone, I reckon. Drops, Artis, Jozo, Yezop, even the 2 players from B2. Pretty solid players, I think, all around, which does mean things are going to be spooky in this one. Wouldn't be too surprised to see a kind of safe finish position somewhere in the mid-20s with 43 players remaining. We'll have to wait and see how things do shake out. Mrotw is starting off near the back, though, will make it through the next checkpoint, and there are plenty of failure points throughout the map. In fact, a couple of them already have been found, but this bug slide into reverse is tough, and we are seeing players struggle with it. RT struggling just to get this transition right up on top to get into the bug slide, but might be able to catch up someone if there's anyone still stranded out here. We'll have to wait and see at the next checkpoint if Artis has managed to gain on anyone. That's a disaster.
Yeah, Artis not having a good time on this map right now. Kind of saw it in the last round. This reverse section just really seems to be a silver bullet for a lot of people. Artis goes for the DNF there. So yeah, that's his last round for this evening.
Yep.
The rest of the players did make it through, coming through this 360 ice section towards the end of the map. We're riding with Mrotw right now, goes for the safe finish. Is it gonna be reliable enough to get ahead of Nicolig? Not if you do it like that. Kind of an Icarus moment there in the safe finish where it really looks like you can go for that top bit and actually you're just fucked.
Yeah, Jozo will be safe. Yezop will be safe as well. So Nicolig does end up finishing just outside, but it was Yezop who manages to snipe the place away. And it's a struggle out there for sure for some players. Some players not having a great time with this map at all. Listen, if anyone's been reading chat, I don't think that comes as any surprise to anyone. But yeah, look, there's some interesting concepts going on here for sure. And for some players, they are proving to be a struggle. Players don't like when they're forced to do uncomfortable things with their driving style a lot of the time. And there's quite a lot of that going on with this map.
Yeah. There definitely is. This is definitely one of the nights where, people are having fun in in-game chat, People are having a normal one in there right now.
For sure. Yeah. Hey, listen, they're
Um,
distracting themselves, and they're distracting us all from the fact that Scandia is still smurfing on the competition. 102 time, I think, is about a second clear of anyone else's best time. At the moment, 102.706. Virtual still about a second behind. I don't think those times have improved much from the end of our warm-up period. Still pretty impressive from Scandia as we expect it to be. Alpha Dream is in this danger zone. Isn't in a lot of danger right now.
No, very kind of safe, it looks like, within this danger zone. Other players, not exactly so much, especially as we start to see more and more names that we kind of recognize as sort of danger zone regulars for this evening. Uso was one of them, has gone for a DNF, so, at least it's his last time in the danger zone tonight, but Gonfo and Bans as well. They are also at risk. Alpha Dream, we thought he was safe. How wrong we were. Has been pushed back into the very edge of it. Now he needs to overtake Jan if he wants to be safe as he comes towards this very final section of the map right now. It's something that it looks like he's going to struggle with, especially as Jan sails nicely into this last part of the finish. Let's see if he can get the harder version of this risky fin. If he can, it's probably it for Alpha Dream.
Well, you say that, but Dracofa has dropped a long way down the order as well. PokeU also managing to overtake and stay up there, and Alpha Dream ends up finishing third in this danger zone. The end, not a guarantee at all in this section. We're definitely seeing plenty of respawns on that final checkpoint, and it will cost Dracofa. I'm going with the name of the Vietnamese food, and I don't know if that's accurate or not, but it's what I've chosen, Dylan. They're eliminated anyway. I would. That does sound like
you just love pho.
It's true. Yeah. I mean, look, I don't call out your pronunciation of things like calling Gonta. Yeah. Calling Gonta Gonfo. I don't know what was going on there.
Question from Jozo on the in-game chat. Why is there a slow-mo on the safe fin? Well, Jozo, if you think about that one for just a few seconds about why you might be getting punished for going on the safe fin, it might come to.
Well, Morpio has pointed it out as well, and I think Morpio's answer, elegant, speaks for itself. This is going to be an interesting danger zone again. Virtual in it, Fate in it, very fast player. Sponge Likes has done very well in the last few weeks. Aura, solid. Jozo is solid player too. Alcats and Helsink, also players that are quick in their round. So this is going to be an exciting one. My prediction, probably need to be inside the top 20 to survive here.
Yeah, definitely looks that way. Currently, we're kind of getting to maybe about the halfway point of this map. Looks like you kind of need to be in the top 10 to survive right now. Maybe top 15. It's not that extreme. But yeah, there's been a lot of competitive danger zones, probably due to the nature of this map being one where you can be unlucky and you can be a really good player, and in case you weren't fucked enough, if you have to go that safe route, you're losing so much time.
Yeah, you really are. Virtual currently making the fight back, needs to overtake Speed, Self, and Fate, or any of the three players in front. Plenty of space for Fails. Is he going for the full 360? Yes, he is. Does seem like it might be quicker if you can absolutely nail it. Still unclear. I'd want an A/B test on that one. Speed Self looking good though, and if he can get through this finish cleanly, there are no other players who have failed. Helsinki, you can see up front, managing to nail the finish, and that will be Speed Self through, puts out Fate, who does fall down the order. Virtual will be eliminated. It's a matter of 4 seconds in the end, and Fate ended up on the safe fin. Gets eliminated by a decent chunk. I mean, there's a lot of time lost if you end up on that lowest of finishes.
It really is. I'll say this, Virtual probably pretty glad he wasn't streaming this evening, right?
Well, listen, we hope that he comes back in stream. We hope he had a good enough time to come and see what happens next week, right?
He do.
Yeah, it'd be nice. We never want players to have a bad time, Dylan. Well, also, yeah, for sure. You might be. You should probably get Thomas another couple of casts before we end up going to France for Mini RPG the Week Ultimate. But
I've heard that's a hoax.
Yeah, don't say it out loud, okay?
You heard it here, guys. They're scamming you out of your money.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I hope not. I'm still planning on being there, so my parents are going to be there. I hope we're not hoaxing anyone. Well, I guess all we can do is go and find out.
Another pretty rough danger zone right now. Beta Toast, Morpio. Yeah, names. Again, we're seeing some pretty dangerous danger zones tonight. I feel like we often do. It's one of the pros of the danger zone format, you might say.
Yeah, I mean, that current top 4, Beta Toast, Morpio, Alpha Dream, Goliath is stacked. I believe everyone in that list, maybe short Goliath, has won an edition in Mini RPG. Yeah, Goliath is a player who, in my head, has always won an edition, but actually never has. But yeah.
Goliath,
everyone else on that list had.
They're one of those players who, like, they'll pretty consistently do, like, top 10 or, like, top 15, but they're never really, I don't think they're ever really doing, like, top 3 or something like that, you know?
Yeah, yep. That's fair.
Top 3 in the danger zone right now, though.
Yeah. Going to be pretty interesting to see how it goes. Alpha Dream has just DNF'd. PokeU is trying to chase down some of the other players in front, or at the very least fend off Yog, and Yezov comes down to this jump. Will just about make it up, but will lose time on that. It was a gap of about 7 or 8 seconds. Yog is still a long way down, just entering the barrel roll themselves. So as long as PokeU can finish here, will be safe, and they will manage to do so pretty cleanly. Decent gap by the end, managing to hold on out. So Yog will cross the line in 5th place in this danger zone. 5th place isn't good enough. We'll be saying goodbye to Yog for now.
Goodbye, Yog.
Bye.
Yeah, there has been some kind of brutal danger zones. Looks like we're heading into a relatively more chill one right now. But still, I mean, we're down to what, like roughly the top 25. We got 29 players left. I guess we'll be in the top 25 next round. So yeah, we're getting kind of close to that point where we're just going to expect to start seeing just some brutal culls in these danger zones as we get to lower and lower players. Riding with Dazzler right now. Dazzler kind of in the middle of that danger zone. Wants to pick up a little bit of speed if they're hoping to get out of there, but it is still very early days in the map. Morpio, we were with them there for a little bit, safe from the danger zone, kind of pulling ahead. Poku, unfortunately, not having the best time. Managed to just kind of get by in last round's danger zone. They're going to need some help if they're going to get out of this one, and that reset is definitely not going to kind of build towards that either.
Yeah, it's not ideal. The Battle of Prism at the bottom here. Poku and Aura both looking to try and escape, but needing a lot to go right in order for that to happen. You can see Dazzle is only just in front there. Dargan has in fact dropped behind as well, but it's really Luces that you want to keep an eye out for, and the players in front of Luces as well. Game Bros, Nobi, Tomote. Tomote starting to pull away a little bit, looking to build enough of a lead to be safe this round. Luces is still going for the non-360 line. That I don't know if they were the first player to do it, but they were the first player that I saw doing it, which is pretty exciting. Right alongside Game Bros here as well. Both of them looking to survive. I don't know if Game Bros is making that. He is. Plenty of room to spare as well, but the landing is awkward. Luces should be safe. Game Bros only get a couple of seconds spare there. Luces will have to go for the slightly medium finish. That's a full crash. And that could well be Luces going out. Game Bros was finished. Is Dazzle close enough? It's another respawn from Luces. No more finishes. It's Aura, the next player to make it in, the final player to stay alive. Luces, Dargan, Dazzle, and Poke will be the 4 players eliminated. And Luces got to be kicking themselves. That was a very tough finish.
Yeah, I mean, not just 1 but 2 resets. That is tough. Especially when I think it looked like Luces could have taken it if it was just the 1 reset. But yeah, those 2 in a row, unfortunately, that is really going to cost you. And yeah, cost Luces their place in the rest of this evening's edition. Looks like we got ice coming up in our next danger zone.
Ice and I thought it was snow as well, but no, we were just we weren't in the danger zone view just yet on the scoreboard. I was distracted.
We do have Helsinki, and Helsinki is a snowy place. It's in Finland.
Wow.
Probably snowy, right? You know.
Yep. Like the second syllable of Marius's name, the second and third syllable kind of sound like ice. Yes.
Well, Marius famously, shows up in the story Les Mis. A lot of cold bodies in that story by the end. So.
Well, when you put it like that, it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, also welcome to the stream. Bayron has joined us in chat, tonight's mapper.
Hello, Bayron.
I'm not going to say that we should hide the in-game chat, but I will say the players are maybe struggling a little bit tonight. And hey, we all know that it could never be a skill issue, is the important thing to remember there.
No, it's never.
It's never a skill issue. Sapphire is trying to chase down Aura, but the gap is 5 seconds or so. That is a tough one to break down. Sapphire also going for this straight through line. Marius is falling a little ways down the order. We did mention how a couple of wins for Marius here in the final weeks of Mini RPG of the Week would make things interesting on the overall leader scoreboard. Needs to stay alive in this round to even have the chance at that. Is just behind Aura, going for the medium finish. Is that going to cost him? There is a big enough gap that I don't think it should. Definitely won't. Finishes second. Sapphire gets through. Nobi still on track, means Helzinka sneaks through to claim the 4th spot. It'll be Ice, Nobi, Sebi, and Game Bros eliminated.
Brutal. We were saying, you know, Ice might be in for a chance here to pick up some more wins. Unfortunately, didn't work out that way for them this evening. As we head into our top, you know what? I'll let the players work that one out. They can find out how many people are left. I'm not going to read the information that's on screen. They don't pay me enough for that. 17
players left.
Don't say it, Alex. Don't say it.
Okay. It was also... hang on. Yeah, 17 players left. Our final round of 8 eliminations as well. And 4 eliminations in our last round with 8 players in the danger zone, which is going to be kind of a brutal one here. That's a quarter of the field basically about to be wiped out in a single round. Scandir in this round as well. I mean, look, you don't want to say that it does kind of mean that there's just 3 safe spots available instead of 4, but that's kind of what it means.
I'll say this, it'll be funny if he loses. He's not going to, but it would be funny.
Yeah. I don't think he is. I feel like my predictions right when we started, you know, one of the safest predictions of all time, Scandir will do well on this mini RPG track, are kind of being borne out tonight. It does still feel like a very Scandir track in the, you know, there's a lot of optimizations he can make here. Again, I kind of had made that prediction before we'd seen what the finish actually looked like, and I do think that takes away a little bit because a little bit less easy optimization to be done round on round in that map. Of course, Scandir's still fully capable of doing it, but I think probably causing a bit more variation in his times. With that said, he's still going to be safe in this round, barring an absolute disaster at the finish line, and I don't think that's probably going to happen.
What I would say for people who maybe aren't super familiar with how things go in Mini RPG of the Week Season 4 is this is what I would call like the hope spot round. And there's one of these in every edition that Scandir competes in where like 3 or 4 rounds before things start to get serious, Scandir does 1 round in the danger zone and like just gets out of it in 1st or 2nd place and was never concerned whatsoever. And it genuinely, it's a staple of his game style.
Yeah, and that's exactly what's happened here. 103.2 is very quick, maybe better than the 2nd fastest time on the server at the moment. I'm pretty sure it is, in fact, unless anyone has improved recently. But yeah, I mean, Scandir was 6 seconds clear of 2nd place in that danger zone. We are now down to danger zones of just 4 players, which means only 2 players eliminated at a time, nearly into our top 10 and the spot on the Liquipedia page that comes along with that too. And it will be Marius making another visit to the danger zone. His 3rd, possibly? Might just be his 2nd.
Yeah. I love that you always mention the spot on the Liquipedia page.
Hey,
like the most prestigious award we can offer. You can be on a page that also will say my name.
Listen, Dylan, do you want to know how many times Goliath has appeared on a Liquipedia page for Mini RPG of the Week?
Probably a decent amount.
It's 6.
That's less than me, so fuck you, Goliath.
Okay, well, I'll go back and wipe you out if I have to. I know how to abuse the editing powers. I'm pretty sure I'm actually, like, because, you know, as with many volunteer projects, there are arbitrary tiers to how much control you can get over things, and I think I am an editor on the Trackmania Liquipedia because I was doing enough changing.
You've been declared, like, king of Liquipedia or something.
Oh, really?
Because you keep plugging it on these streams, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think that it was more to do with the fact I was putting work. Marius has dropped behind Timoth there. That was a clip on the near final jump. If Timoth stays safe on this final jump, Marius is going to go for the riskiest fair. And I think he had to. I do think he had to.
But
yeah.
Unfortunately.
Oh,
I'm not even. He went for it. He did have to go for it. I'm not fully convinced that even if he had got it, he would have beat out Timoth there. It would have been close.
I think he would have. It would have been close, but I think it looked like he was going to get him. I mean, the heartbreaking thing there is that he went for it a 2nd time as well and showed that he did have the speed if the first jump had been better to make it up. So yeah, tough, but Marius will be eliminated just outside our top 10 and he won't make it to the Wikipedia page. But apparently I'm not allowed to talk about that, so we'll move on.
Keep talking about it. I'd like to hear it at the end of every round, please.
There's not much point. I mean, this is the last round where it's really relevant. Well, and then I don't know. Do you know what happens
they're
if you get
competing
into
for a spot on the Wikipedia page
They
right
are
now.
competing for a spot right now. Do you know what happens if you get
Snappy
into
is
the
at
top
risk.
4, Dylan?
They show a top 4? I thought it was a top 10.
But they do on the Wikipedia page, but do you know where you get shown if you make it into the top 4?
Your mother's fridge? I don't know. Like, where do they show this information?
No, there's the Trackmania News Discord server, which is a very useful place for finding out news about the Trackmania community, events that are happening and things, and they do they have a results channel, and they show the top 4 from the Mini RPG of the Week results.
And I'll say this, that probably actually is a more prestigious award, because as far as I'm aware, my name has never shown up in that Discord channel.
You are absolutely right. Neither is mine, but you know what? If anything, that makes it less prestigious. Snappy is looking to make it through. Tomote will once again go for the medium finish this time around. There is no Marius to fall away and to let him survive. So Tomote will be eliminated, but ahead of Helsinki, which means Tomote does what, Dylan?
I don't know. I haven't been paid to comment, so I won't say anything. Get those advertising bucks, Alex.
He makes it to the Wikipedia page. Also, I just want to make it clear for Black Pulse that no, it's not my mother's fridge. It's their own mother's fridges that they make it onto if they make top 4.
Yeah, it's a nebulous idea of your mother. It's like a Freudian kind of archetype thing. You know,
is Freudian is Freudian what you want to reach for?
No,
there?
It's the other one. You know who the other one is. He's the one they do Persona games about. Young. It's Jungian archetypes.
The one they do Persona games about is a very, very.
I
funny
love
concept.
Young in Persona. Imagine if they made Persona, but it was based on Freud instead.
Yeah.
They somehow would add more adult romanceable characters to that series.
Yeah, that's. I don't think that's what they need. They do not Don't be giving them ideas. They don't need to make a persona that follows Freudian ideas of psychology instead. That would, if anything, be a very bad idea, I think.
Listen, they're playing Trackmania on my screen right now. I guess Speed Self and Gaulian battling it out to see who is going to be eliminated. And you know they're going to be on the Wikipedia anyway. So I guess who cares? We may as well turn the stream off now. Everyone's made Wikipedia already.
Goliath had made it to a point where he could have, I think, continued without respawning, but chose not to because he thought that he was in a worse position than he was. So ended up doing this checkpoint a few more times than he really needed to. The gap was fine. Both of them had made major mistakes at the start of the round, but Speed Self is now 16 seconds ahead. So I guess, you know, back to whatever else we were talking about.
I guess they called him Speed Self for a good reason.
Well, it might not be over yet. Hang on, I'm not even going to engage with that because I don't want to. Speed Self is trying to do the upside down wiggle to the finish line there, and Goliath is actually gaining on him at this point. If Speed Self fails again, he's in a lot of trouble. Speed Self has failed again. No, he'll flip around, but he's not moving fast. Goliath just needs to nail this risky fin. Speed Self is on a very slow track down bottom, but Goliath's going to crash again. Speed Self is trying to make it. Goliath needs to nail this jump. I think he will. He will cross the line, but the gap ultimately is only about a second and a half, and it was winnable for either of them.
Alex, I'm receiving an update. Speed Self is being court mandated. They have to change their username. They can no longer be called Speed Self. That's incredible.
This is, I don't know, if I knew more or cared more about the DC universe, there's probably a Speed Force, anti-Speed Force, the Flash kind of joke going on here somewhere.
DC universe, to be honest. We should do a DC Universe mini RPG of the Week stream sometime.
I thought you were going to say we should do a DC Universe movie marathon, because Dylan, I think we should do a DC Universe movie marathon. I mean, Dylan, our movie marathons are entirely predicated on watching like 5 mediocre to bad movies in one night, and I think the DC Universe fits that bill pretty well.
Listen, Alex, the scoops continue, okay? This is the place to go for breaking news. Speed Self has confirmed from now on they will go by the username Slow Self, okay? I hope to see it next week.
I guess changing usernames or clubs tags can manifest something, because I mean, Virtual changed his club tag to RPG just moments before entering this competition, and that manifested, you know.
It manifested.
So if you go to Slow Self,
you didn't even make the Wikipedia page, folks.
Didn't even make it to the Wikipedia page. Oh dear. Well, hey, you know who's not going to be making it onto the Trackmania news announcement of the top 4 of Mini RPG of the Week this week?
Slow self.
Well, I was going to say Goliath because Speed Self is out of my mind. He was eliminated last round, and then Goliath didn't even have the decency to do well in the next. Just eliminated in the next round. It's insulting, frankly.
Yeah, it is. Worker and Hazard. They are the brave warriors this evening who will battle for that place in the Discord chat or whatever the hell it's called. We don't even care about who wins. Here's a hint, guys. It's going to be Scandir, okay? We had to invent new qualifications for people
Hazard
to
just
battle
full
for.
crashed.
Listen.
Yeah. Sorry, I just thought it might be relevant to the round and the story that you were setting of, you know. Hey, will Worker full crash as well? I guess there's a chance.
See, that's why I didn't mention it. I knew it would cancel out. Who's winning? Worker's winning? Worker's going to beat Hazard,
Worker's
it looks
winning,
like.
yeah.
I don't know. Might crash.
I interrupted you to say that Hazard full crashed. He's 10 seconds behind. That was the thing you were laughing about.
We're having a fun one tonight, guys, okay? Worker, looks like Worker's winning right now. So we'll probably beat Hazard. I guess Hazard must have full crashed or something. Maybe if I had a decent co-host, I might know what was happening. But listen, I was doing this whole thing myself. Worker's doing tricks with the camera. We don't even care, okay? He's going for the medium finish. He's just about going to get it. It was touch and go there. But Hazard, I guess, looks like had a full crash or something. So, unfortunately, won't be making it into the Trackmania News Discord server this evening.
I try to share fun information with people, and I am ridiculed for it. Oh, dear. Dylan, I hear you've been working on a Type 5 for if we have any tech issues at Mini RPG of the Week Ultimate. Is that true?
Yeah, I probably got a Type 5.
What's your Type 5 on, Dylan?
What do you want me to do? Give me a prompt. I'm mostly a crowd work guy, so...
Alright, maybe Twitch chat has some prompts for you in terms of what your Type 5
looks
could
like
be about for Mini RPG of the Week Ultimate.
says head to the official Mini RPG
What's
Ultimate
the
website.
deal with websites?
Not giving me a lot to work with there. Ideally, Nightbot would like come to the audience with like a friend who was also a woman, and then I would be like, "Oh, are you two dating?" And then it would turn out there was like one of them had a crush on the other. But Nightbot has just given me something which isn't that, so it's not ideal. Scandir's in last place. Hey.
Oh, that's interesting.
Something fun could happen.
Yeah, Morpio and Scandir might be the battle before we enter our top 2, which would be very interesting. It'd mean Worker guaranteed in top 2. That's the way things are heading at the moment. Never mind.
Worker's turtling.
Yeah, he's turtling a little bit. He is upside down, and I think Morpio should be first to the line there. Although, no one's finished yet. No, Morpio has just finished. Worker's crashed again. And hang on, it's Worker versus Snappy. And no, Snappy, you can't crash. You had the chance. There was the chance to beat out Worker there. Worker going for the middle fin. Snappy DNF'd. I think he still had a chance. No.
You know what? I'm happy to see what I'm seeing here, because I thought Silly Season was just affecting me and you right now. It appears with this round, every single remaining player in this week's Mini RPG of the Week has also entered Silly Season. Scandir, I don't even know what he's doing, to be honest.
Yeah.
He's having fun.
He's having a good time.
Okay, buddy.
Well, just so we're clear, how do DNFs work if you're in one of these rounds? Would Scandir just be eliminated? It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine.
He's fine.
He's fine. He's 47 seconds behind first. Classic Scandir time.
Listen, Scandir would never hustle, okay? He would never do it in me.
Yeah, no.
Morpio is looking pretty good right now. He's going to get into the top 2 this evening. There is, unfortunately, nowhere where just the top 2 players of the evening are posted. We're going to work on it, okay?
Listen, Dylan, you have a Twitter account.
My pledge, I will post and tag the 2 top players who finished. So, Morpio, you're in there. And Worker, I'd really like it to be you, okay? So if you could pick up the 0.7 seconds you need to beat Scandir here, I'll appreciate it.
I don't know if it's going to happen, buddy. I'm sorry. I think Scandir is angry after he finished 47 seconds behind
Scandir is
first place. He's mad. Worker's clipped the wheel. He's not lost a huge amount of speed, but he has lost a little bit. The gap continues to grow, but we've seen this finish cause problems, notably in the last round for Scandir. Worker is not that far behind.
There's a little bit of trouble there.
Well,
Worker fucks up the...
Worker.
Yeah, okay. Worker's having trouble. Scandir, it seems, has remembered how to finish the map.
No.
Unfortunately, I will now have to tag Scandir in my post, which, you know, I was hoping it wouldn't happen, but...
Yeah.
Let's see how Mrotw does against him in the final. I'm sure he's got a good chance of winning.
Always has been. Mrotw is currently tied with Lars and Artis for 4 wins all time, so this would be interesting in that it would just bump him up on the leaderboard fully, which I don't know, I'd kind of like. A little bit of separation between our players is always nice. Now, you still need to beat Scandir to make that happen, and beating Scandir, easier said than done. There's always the chance that Scandir makes a mistake. He is mortal, not completely unkillable, but when he gets locked in, he is very, very hard to beat, and you can see it there. These are the sections of the track in the warm-up that I was talking about that Scandir was going to be good on. His transitions were great. He was pulling out a lead anyway. Mrotw is not able to hit that jump, and Scandir would be ballooning the lead, I think, anyway, just purely on driving. He looked incredibly clean through those sections of the track. At a guess, the gap would be about half a second even without that crash, but there was a crash, Dylan, and the gap is about 8 seconds.
There was. Yeah, Scandir already, like you're saying, he was pulling ahead. He has really pulled ahead now. He's coming up to this final section of the map. 2 rounds ago, he did basically forget how to do it. Mrotw's hoping that happens again. Let's see. I don't believe. He's carried through the first part pretty okay. He's going for that risky spin, and he nails it. Wow, Scandir won Mini RPG of the week, guys.
Maybe the craziest thing to have ever happened. With that, Scandir actually ties Yannick's on wins all time as well. We are finished with edition 22. There are 3 editions left. If Scandir wins all 3 of our remaining editions of Mini RPG of the week, he will exit the competition as the most winning player of all time.
Yeah, for a guy who came in like the back half of season 3, incredible stats.
Yeah, just kind of horrifying in many ways. That is now 9 wins out of 22 editions in season 4 for Scandir. Dude's good at Mini RPG. I don't know what else to say about it. I really hope that he does manage to make it out to Mini RPG of the week Ultimate. It'd be great to see him there. I mean, just to make sure in person that there's, you know, no hacks going on. I mean, I don't want to accuse anyone. I'm just saying sometimes it's inhuman. Sometimes the dude is just too good.
We just want to make sure that he's not like an actual deer or something like that, because obviously Mini RPG of the week, it is a human-only competition, so we would have to disqualify him.
Now, just so I can follow your train of thought here, Dylan, why would being a deer make him good at Mini RPG?
It wouldn't, but it's the word deer is in his username, so that's why I said it.
All right. Well, BMX is having fun throwing me off, and so I think it's time. We've had a great stream today. There's a few left to come, most notably next week. Same time, same place. We'll be back with edition 23 of Mini RPG of the week. They're running out. Catch them while you can. Get tickets to Mini RPG of the week Ultimate as well. Details are on the website. You will want to head to that exclamation mark website in Twitch chat. We'll get Nightbot pulled up, and it'll also give us the benefit of burying BMX's message a little bit further. That won't help though. Deployer has pinned it, and so I don't know what else to do except say goodbye. Thank you very much for everyone for joining us tonight. See you back next week for another edition of Mini RPG of the week.
See you, folks.
time.